The house of God. 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 God's house. The house of God. God's house. The house of God. God's house. God. The house of God. God. God's house. God. The house of God. God. $50 or more. Now let me tell you something. We're still beautifying God's house. I need 100 people to write me this week and send a love offering of $50 or more. Let God use you this week for His glory. Let us beautify the house of God together. I am excited about the house of God. The house of God. The house of God. The house of God. $50 or more. The house of God. 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 God does some great things for every one of us. And then we want to waste time talking about what the devil do. You know the devil using so-and-so against me. You know the devil sure is doing this and sure is doing that. You know people ain't like they used to be. Oh, the saints used to have God. Now the devil got them all. God's house. The house of God. 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 Oh, we love our own houses. The house of God. The house of God.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature, Mr. Beale, and I
need
won't
at
have
least
it.
100 of you
Is
listening.
that clear?
The right men send
You think you
$50
merely
or more
stopped the business deal? That is not
for
the
the
case.
ministry
The Arabs have taken millions of dollars out of this country, and
for
now
the
they must put it
beautification
back.
of the house of God.
It is evident,
And when you
title grab
send something
it is
for God's
ecological balance.
God, miracle,
You are an old man who thinks in terms of nations and
the house of God.
there are no nations, there are no peoples, there are no races, there are no Arabs, there are no third worlds, there is no West.
The house of
There
God.
is only one
$50 or
holistic
more.
system of systems. One family made, interwoven, interacting, multivariate, multinational dominion of powers.
God's house.
God,
The house of God. $50 or more. Now let me tell you
The
something.
international system of currency.
We're still beautifying God's house. I need 100 people to write me this week and send a love offering of $50 or more.
That is the atomic and subatomic and galactic structure of things today.
Let us beautify the house of
You
God.
have meddled with the primal forces
House of
of nature. And you will Am I getting through to you, Mr. Beale?
The house of God. $50 or more.
Get up on
The house of God.
your little 21-inch screen
The house of God.
and howl about America
The
and
house of God.
there is no America.
The house of God.
There is only IBM and ITT and AT&T and DuPont, Dow, Union Carbide, and Exxon.
Then we want to waste
Those
time
are
talking about what the devil
nations
do.
today. What do you think the Russians talk about in the State? trauma, they get out their linear programming charts, statistical decision theories, Minimax solutions, and compute the price-cost probabilities of their transactions and investments. We no longer live in a world of nations and ideologies, Mr. Beatty. The world is a college of corporations, inexorably determined by the mutable bylaws of business.
Oh, we love our own houses.
The world is a business. It has been since man crawled out of the slime. Our children will live, Mr. Beale.
I need at least 100 of you
To see that
write me and send me $50 or more
perfect
for
world
the ministries, for the
which the war
for the beautification of the house of
oppression,
And when you send something for God's house,
one vast and ecumenical club
in your house,
for whom all men will work to serve a common purpose. All men will hold a share of supply.
the house of God,
All necessities provide.
the house of God,
All anxieties
$50 or more.
tranquilized.
God's house, the house of God. God's house, the house of God. God's house, the house of God.
I have chosen
God, the house of God.
you,
God,
Mr. Beale,
$50 or
to
more.
preach this adventure
Why me?
because you're on television, dummy.